maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
And the abuse continued.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
Attacking a woman for her looks or age isn't very progressive.
Whoopi Goldberg is once again in the spotlight, but this time, she's at the center of a storm following her controversial remarks on wokeness. However, this time, she faced more than just backlash. She found herself going head-to-head with someone unafraid to challenge her narrative. Enter Karoline Leavitt, a rising conservative voice who took direct aim at Whoopi's comments and exposed the glaring contradictions and hypocrisy behind her views on wokeness. What began as a typical debate quickly escalated into something much more significant as Leavitt not only defended her own stance, but also turned the tables on Whoopi and the entire panel, forcing them to confront the flaws in their argument.
Karoline Leavitt. The left pretends to be a champion of women until they find one who is a conservative. Once that happens, they love nothing more than tearing down women with the most petty and vacuous of insults.
What began as a routine segment quickly escalated into one of the most intense exchanges in recent television history. So, let's break down what happened, why it matters, and how this showdown reflects a growing cultural divide more intense than ever. It all started during a discussion about the role of wokeness in modern politics, where Whoopi Goldberg passionately defended it, claiming wokeness was driving societal progress. According to Whoopi, the push for diversity, equity, and inclusion was creating real positive change, and those who opposed it were simply resisting necessary social evolution. She dismissed conservative criticisms of wokeness as fear-mongering, arguing that anyone challenging the ideology was simply uncomfortable with progress and afraid of change. But then Karoline Leavitt stepped in, and instead of merely disagreeing, she deconstructed the very foundation of Whoopi's argument. She pointed out the contradictions in the view's portrayal of wokeness and the selective application of these so-called inclusive principles. Leavitt fired back, asserting that wokeness had stopped being about social progress. It had become a weapon to silence opposing views. She argued that wokeness wasn't uniting people. It was driving them apart, forcing ideological conformity, and punishing anyone who dared to question its principles. Leavitt wasted no time citing specific examples of individuals who faced severe backlash for speaking out against wokeness, especially in the media, education, and corporate America. People were losing opportunities simply because their views didn't align with the woke narrative. She didn't stop there, calling out the hypocrisy within the Views panel, especially Whoopi, who claims to champion open dialogue yet simultaneously silences conservative voices. Leavitt pointed to the countless times conservative women had been dismissed, interrupted, or outright insulted on the show. She directly questioned whether The View truly supports diversity of thought or is merely focused on diversity that fits within their ideological bubble. But she didn't stop there. Leavitt went further, highlighting how wokeness was being used as a justification for censorship and exclusion instead of true inclusivity. Whoopi, visibly frustrated and trying to keep her cool, defended her position by arguing that wokeness is all about inclusivity and ensuring equal opportunities for everyone. She claimed conservatives like Leavitt were misrepresenting wokeness, turning it into something oppressive when, in reality, it's about correcting historical wrongs and creating fairness in the system. But Leavitt wasn't backing down. She hit back, asking Whoopi if wokeness is truly about embracing diverse perspectives, then why are conservative women so often the targets of mockery and disdain? Why were their credentials constantly questioned, while progressive women were automatically hailed as role models? Leavitt hammered in how the selective application of wokeness had created an unfair standard, one where only certain voices get elevated, while others are forced into silence. At this point, the tension on set was palpable. Whoopi, struggling to maintain control, tried to pivot the conversation away from the uncomfortable criticisms Leavitt was laying down, but it was too late. The damage had already been done. The audience could clearly see the cracks in the View's argument, and Leavitt had made her point loud and clear. Whoopi's failed attempt to change the topic only highlighted the flaws in her position even more. The moment quickly went viral, with clips circulating across social media platforms. Viewers from all political backgrounds weighed in, many agreeing that Whoopi's defense of wokeness had been effectively dismantled. Even those who didn't necessarily align with Leavitt's conservative stance admitted that she had made valid points about the inconsistencies in The View's messaging. Critics of The View argued that the show had long been a platform for pushing one-sided narratives while shutting down dissenting voices. This latest exchange only reinforced that perception. Instead of fostering a genuine discussion, Whoopi and her co-hosts attempted to dismiss Leavitt's concerns without properly addressing them, exposing their unwillingness to engage in real debate. The backlash was swift, with many calling for The View to reevaluate how it engages with guests who hold differing opinions. But this wasn't just about one television debate, it was about a broader cultural shift. Wokeness, once seen as a movement for positive change, had morphed into something much more polarizing. Rather than encouraging meaningful conversations, it had created an environment where disagreement was met with hostility, where people were afraid to speak their minds for fear of being labeled intolerant or regressive. Leavitt's exchange with Whoopi highlighted a growing frustration among many Americans who feel the definition of progress has been twisted into a demand for ideological conformity. The backlash against The View wasn't just about Whoopi's comments. It was a reflection of a larger debate taking place in the country about free speech, inclusivity, and what it truly means to be free. At the end of the day, Karoline Leavitt's appearance on The View didn't just expose the flaws in Whoopi Goldberg's defense of wokeness. It sparked a larger conversation about the state of political discourse in America. Are we truly encouraging open discussions, or are we shutting down those who dare to think differently? This debate is far from over, and as more voices continue to challenge the dominant narratives, it's clear that the fight for ideological balance in media is only just beginning. What do you think? Did Leavitt successfully expose the contradictions in The View's stance on wokeness, or do you believe Whoopi Goldberg had a point? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. More videos are coming soon. See you on the next one.